Welcome to my channel Valuable Rare Coins because, as you know, old is gold. Some of the rarest coins worth big money could be hiding in your hands right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch till the end. Let's dive in. First, we are about to uncover the incredible story behind one of the most iconic and beloved coins in American history, the United States bicentennial quarter-dollar coin, dated 1776 to 1976. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just beginning your coin-collecting journey, this is one coin that deserves your full attention. Now, at first glance, the bicentennial quarter might look like something you've seen dozens of times, maybe even one you've spent without a second thought. But there's much more beneath the surface of this historic coin than meets the eye. This is no ordinary quarter. It's a commemorative piece, minted in honor of the 200th anniversary of the United States of America's independence, a celebration of freedom, history, and patriotism struck into metal. What makes this quarter stand out instantly is its dual date, 1776 to 1976, a design element unique to the bicentennial series. But the real star of the show is the reverse side of the coin, which features a beautifully detailed image of a colonial drummer designed by artist Jack L. AHR. Surrounding the drummer is a ring of 13 stars, symbolizing the original colonies, and above him is a bold torch of victory, a powerful tribute to America's revolutionary spirit. But here's where things get very exciting. Because among the millions of bicentennial quarters that were produced, a select few are worth a fortune thanks to a combination of rare minting errors, low mintage varieties, and unique metal compositions. These rare examples have become the crown jewels of many collectors' coin collections and have recently sold at jaw-dropping prices. One of the key features collectors look for is the silver-clad version of the bicentennial quarter. While most were struck in a copper-nickel blend for circulation, the U.S. Mint also released a 40% silver version, originally included in special collector sets sold by the U.S. Mint in the 1970s. These silver versions are already more valuable due to their precious metal content, but when they feature certain errors or unique striking characteristics, their value can skyrocket. One of the most prized errors is the double die obverse, where inscriptions like Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the dual date 1776 to 1976 appear slightly doubled, giving the coin a distinctive and rare appearance that collectors will pay handsomely for. This doubling is caused during the die-making process and is a favorite among collectors due to its visual appeal and rarity. Another incredible error involves off-center strikes, where the coin was not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a partially blank or misaligned image. These coins are immediately noticeable and are highly prized when combined with the silver-clad variety, making them an extraordinary find for any lucky collector who comes across one. There are also reports of wrong planchet errors, where the bicentennial design was accidentally struck on a foreign coin planchet or even on blanks intended for other denominations. These errors are beyond rare and have caused bidding wars at major coin auctions because they combine two layers of rarity, an iconic commemorative coin and a one-in-a-million mint mistake, to identify whether you have one of these rare gems. Start by checking the edge of the coin. Silver-clad bicentennial quarters will lack the telltale copper stripe seen on regular circulation quarters. They'll have a smooth, silver-colored edge instead. Next, examine the coin carefully under a magnifier. Look for doubling in the text, unusual spacing, or any misaligned features. Weighing the coin can also be a good clue. Standard quarters weigh about 5.67 grams, while silver versions come in at around 5.75 grams, offering a quick way to tell them apart. Grading is also key. If you believe you've found a bicentennial quarter with an error or in near-perfect condition, getting it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC can greatly increase its market value. Coins that are certified and encapsulated with high grades such as MS 67 or MS 68 have recently been sold for astonishing sums at public auctions and private collector events. In fact, one such coin, a stunning 1976 bicentennial quarter with a silver composition and a verified mint error, was sold in a headline-making auction. The final sale price left the numismatic community in awe. After heavy bidding from multiple serious collectors, the coin sold for an incredible $150,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single bicentennial quarter, once worth just 25 cents, became the star of an auction and fetched $150,000 thanks to its rarity, condition, and historical significance. That's the magic of coin collecting, where everyday change can turn into life-changing treasures. So, if you have a stash of old quarters at home, now is the time to take a closer look. That seemingly ordinary bicentennial coin sitting in a jar or drawer could be one of the rarest examples ever minted. Don't overlook the clues: the silver edge, the doubling, the misalignments, or the high-grade luster. These are the signs that you might be holding onto a six-figure piece of American history. Have you ever come across a bicentennial quarter that seemed a little unusual? Do you have any 1776 to 1976 coins in your collection that might fit the description? We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you have questions about your collection, feel free to ask. We love hearing your stories, seeing your finds, and helping fellow collectors uncover their next big discovery. Second rare coin. We're diving into one of the most exciting discoveries in modern U.S. coinage, the 1971 D. Washington quarter dollar. Don't let its everyday appearance fool you, because this particular coin has become a red-hot topic in the collector world for reasons that might just surprise you. At first glance, the 1971 D quarter looks just like the millions of others struck during the early 70s, featuring the timeless image of George Washington on the obverse and the bold American eagle perched on the reverse. But what sets this year and mint mark apart is a stunning combination of rarity, unique mint errors, and exceptional condition pieces that have transformed this coin from ordinary to extraordinary. Minted at the Denver Mint, the 1971 D quarter was part of a large circulation effort, but hidden within that massive production run were a small number of error coins and die varieties that today command massive interest from collectors and investors alike. These are not your average coins. They are rare anomalies that were never supposed to exist, making them incredibly desirable in the numismatic world. One of the most coveted types is the double die obverse, where the inscriptions such as Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1971 appear slightly or dramatically doubled due to a misalignment during the die production process. These double die coins create a shadow-like effect that's immediately noticeable under magnification, and spotting one can mean you're holding onto something far more valuable than face value. Another standout error comes in the form of off-center strikes, where the design is not properly aligned with the planchet during minting, leaving part of the design cut off and exposing a blank area of the coin. The more dramatic the misalignment, especially if the date and mint mark are still visible, the higher the coin's value climbs in the market. These errors are highly collectible and rarely seen in such early 70s issues. Collectors are also keeping their eyes peeled for wrong planchet errors, which occur when the quarter design is mistakenly struck on a planchet meant for another denomination or even a foreign coin. Imagine a quarter struck on a dime blank or on a thinner or smaller planchet. These bizarre and rare minting events are not only fascinating, but also drive the value of the coin through the roof. But rarity alone isn't everything. Condition matters immensely. Coins that have never been circulated, with brilliant luster and sharp detail, are graded on a scale up to MS 70 by top certification agencies like PCGS or NGC. High-grade examples of the 1971 D quarter, especially those combined with a rare mint error or die variety, are incredibly difficult to find and fetch major premiums at auctions and private sales. What's even more exciting is the recent surge in collector demand for these coins. As more and more people are turning to coin collecting, whether for the love of history, the thrill of the hunt, or the potential for investment, certain pieces like the 1971 D quarter have risen sharply in popularity. Social media, collector forums, and auction houses are lighting up with photos, grading questions, and success stories from people who found rare versions of this coin in old jars or inherited collections in recent years. Auction records have shown the true power of this unassuming quarter. At major numismatic events, Serious collectors have battled for ownership of verified error coins and high-grade specimens from 1971, especially those with full strike details, brilliant uncirculated condition, or unique errors that set them apart. These coins don't just change hands, they make headlines in the coin world. So, how do you know if your 1971 D Washington quarter could be worth big money? Start by taking a close look. Really examine the coin under magnification, paying attention to the lettering, the edges, and any doubling in the design. Weighing the coin can also help identify a wrong planchet error. A standard quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams, but anything noticeably lighter or heavier could indicate something special. And of course, if you think you've got something rare, don't wait. Submit it to a professional grading service to get it authenticated and valued properly. Now, here's the moment that all coin enthusiasts wait for, the part where reality meets excitement. Because believe it or not, one such example of a 1971 D Washington quarter, struck with an exceptional mint error and preserved in top-grade condition, was sold in a high-profile auction for a jaw-dropping $90,000. Yes, you heard that right, $90,000 for a coin that could have once been in someone's pocket change or coin roll. That's the incredible world of numismatics, where history, rarity, and condition combine to turn a 25-cent piece into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that changes everything. So go ahead, dig through your old change jars, search through coin rolls, and revisit any forgotten collections you might have tucked away, because the 1971 D quarter could be your hidden treasure waiting to be uncovered. With the right eye, the right coin, and a little bit of luck, you just might find yourself holding the next rare gem that collectors are searching the world to find. If you found a 1971 D quarter with any strange features, odd strike patterns, or just want to know more about your coin, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your story and help you on your journey to unlocking its true value. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more rare coin discoveries, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a chance to learn about the next valuable coin hiding in plain sight. Third expensive coin. We're talking about the 1965 Washington quarter, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors all around the world. This coin holds a very special place in U.S. numismatic history because 1965 was a year of major change at the U.S. Mint. It was the first year that quarters were no longer made with silver, transitioning instead to a clad composition of copper and nickel. That change alone makes 1965 quarters historic, but what really drives collectors wild are the rare transitional errors and striking anomalies that slipped through the Mint's quality control during this chaotic shift in production. So why is the 1965 Washington quarter so fascinating? Because a handful of these coins were accidentally struck on 90% silver planchets left over from 1964 production. That's right, although 1965 quarters were officially supposed to be copper-nickel, some were mistakenly minted on silver blanks, creating one of the most valuable and sought-after mint errors in modern coinage. These silver 1965 quarters are incredibly rare and can be worth tens of thousands of dollars, or even more, when authenticated. Identifying a silver 1965 quarter requires a sharp eye and a good scale. While standard clad quarters weigh about 5.67 grams, the silver planchets used in 1964 weigh slightly more, around 6.25 grams. If you happen to find a 1965 quarter that feels heavier or sounds different when dropped, it's definitely worth weighing and inspecting for silver edges. Unlike the clad quarters that show a copper stripe on the edge, a silver quarter will have a solid silver-colored edge, no copper visible at all. But the excitement doesn't end with silver errors. Other valuable varieties of the 1965 quarter include double die errors, where the coin's lettering, especially Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date itself, appears slightly doubled. These coins stand out to collectors for their unique appearance and are highly prized, especially when found in near mint or uncirculated condition. Each double die error tells a story of a misaligned hubbing process, a tiny slip in the machinery that results in a one-of-a-kind collectible. Another rare error to look out for is the off-center strike, where the coin is not perfectly aligned with the dies, resulting in part of the design being cut off and a blank crescent shape appearing on the coin. The more extreme the off-center strike, especially if the full date is still visible, the more desirable the coin becomes to error collectors who specialize in these freak minting accidents. And let's not forget the rare wrong planchet errors, where a 1965 quarter may have been mistakenly struck on a blank intended for a foreign coin or another denomination entirely. These are among the rarest errors and often fetch unbelievable prices at auctions, especially if they are confirmed by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC and preserved in mint state condition. The coin market is booming, and collector demand for rare error coins like the 1965 Washington quarter is at an all-time high. Auction houses across the country have witnessed fierce bidding wars over these rare coins, with prices soaring as collectors compete for the best examples. In numismatics, it's all about scarcity and condition, and when you combine both with historical significance, the results can be truly astonishing. So, how can you tell if your 1965 quarter is one of these incredibly rare finds? Start by checking the edge. Does it have that copper-colored stripe, or is it solid silver? Next, weigh the coin using a digital scale for accuracy. Anything close to 6.25 grams might mean you've found a silver planchet error. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect the text and numbers for doubling or other abnormalities. And if you suspect you've got something special, don't hesitate. Send it in to be professionally graded because condition plays a huge role in determining value. And now for the moment that collectors dream of. Just how much could one of these rare 1965 Washington quarters actually be worth? Well, one verified 1965 quarter struck on a silver planchet, in pristine uncirculated condition, was recently sold at a high-profile auction for a mind-blowing price of $100,000. Yes, $100,000 for a single quarter that most people wouldn't look twice at. This is what makes coin collecting so exciting, the idea that a small piece of metal in your change could hold a secret that changes your life forever. It's not just about the money, it's about the thrill of the hunt, the history behind each coin, and the passion shared by collectors across the globe. So go check your jars, your drawers, and your old coin rolls, because a rare 1965 quarter could be hiding right under your nose. And if you've found anything unusual, maybe a quarter with no copper edge, an odd weight, or a strange-looking design, we want to hear about it. Drop your stories in the comments below and join the conversation with fellow collectors from around the world. Especially, we're taking a deep dive into a coin that most Americans have seen countless times, but very few realize could be worth a life-changing sum of money, the 1974 Washington quarter. This isn't just another quarter in your pocket change. It's a coin with a story, a series of incredible errors, and the potential to be worth far more than 25 cents. The 1974 quarter was minted during a fascinating time in U.S. history, both economically and politically. The country was in the midst of change, and the U.S. Mint was producing massive quantities of coinage to meet circulation demand. But with high production numbers comes one incredible opportunity for collectors: the increased chance of rare and valuable minting errors slipping through the cracks. What makes the 1974 Washington quarter so interesting is the number of known error types and rare varieties that have been discovered over the years. While most 1974 quarters were struck correctly and entered circulation without issue, a small group of them exhibit errors that have turned these coins into sought-after collector's items, commanding impressive prices at auctions and among serious numismatists. One of the most eye-catching errors you might come across is the double die obverse, where the front of the coin, the side featuring George Washington, shows signs of doubling on the lettering or the date. Look closely at words like Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1974. If they appear slightly shadowed or duplicated under magnification, you could be holding a rare double die error that's worth far more than face value. Another extremely valuable variety involves the off-metal strike, a coin that was mistakenly struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination or even a different country's coin. These types of errors are incredibly rare but not impossible to find. Imagine finding a 1974 quarter that was struck on a nickel planchet or a foreign coin blank. The value of such a mistake is enormous due to its uniqueness and historical significance. There's also the highly collectible off-center strike, where the coin design is not properly centered on the planchet. These misaligned strikes create a dramatic visual appearance and often leave part of the coin blank while still showing the date and mint mark. If the off-center strike is significant and the key features are still visible, the value of the coin jumps significantly, especially if it's in excellent condition. Collectors are also on the lookout for clipped planchet errors, where a portion of the coin appears to have been sliced off before it was struck. These errors give the coin a distinctive curved or jagged edge, making them instantly recognizable and highly collectible. When paired with the 1974 date and a high-grade finish, these clipped planchet errors are a serious prize in any collection. Now let's talk about condition, because that's where true value is unlocked. Coins that have never been in circulation, often referred to as uncirculated or mint state, hold dramatically higher value than those that show signs of wear. If your 1974 quarter has sharp details, strong luster, and no signs of damage, it may be worth sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to assess its true market value. And here's what makes things even more exciting. Collectors around the world are actively searching for rare 1974 quarters, and some have already been discovered and sold for jaw-dropping amounts. In recent years, these rare quarters have been featured at major coin auctions, with bidders competing for the finest examples with documented errors, pristine condition, or unique strike varieties. These are not just coins. They're rare artifacts that represent a moment in minting history that cannot be repeated. Social media groups, collector forums, and auction platforms have seen a huge rise in interest around the 1974 quarter, especially those with confirmed errors. Stories of lucky finds from coin rolls, inherited collections, or even old piggy banks continue to emerge, showing that valuable coins are still out there, just waiting to be found by someone who knows what to look for. So how can you tell if your 1974 quarter is valuable? Start with a magnifying glass and take a good look at the lettering. Doubling, distortion, or unusual spacing could signal a double die. Weigh the coin. The standard weight should be around 5.67 grams, but anything noticeably off could indicate a planchet error. Examine the edges for clipping and study the strike to see if it's centered properly. And above all, if it looks suspiciously different from other quarters, don't ignore it. It might be a rare piece worth far more than you ever imagined. Now comes the moment every coin collector waits for. The jaw-dropping value that turns this everyday quarter into a true treasure. Believe it or not, one rare example of the 1974 Washington quarter, featuring a confirmed off-metal strike and preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition, was recently sold at a major coin auction for an astonishing $81,000. Yes, $81,000 for a single quarter that most people wouldn't think twice about spending on a vending machine. That's the kind of reward that makes the world of coin collecting so thrilling. It's not just about money. It's about the hidden gems waiting to be discovered by people like you, who take the time to learn, look closely, and appreciate the value behind every coin. So don't underestimate the coins you already have. Go through your pocket change, your old coin jars, or those boxes tucked away in the attic, because a 1974 Washington quarter with the right features could be the next great numismatic discovery. And if you found something interesting or have questions about a coin in your collection, share your story in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you and help you uncover its potential. Next coin, we're talking about the 1980 P. Washington quarter, and what lies beneath the surface might just surprise even the most seasoned collectors. The 1980s marked a bold new era for U.S. coin production. With the Philadelphia Mint at full steam and modern technology pushing output to new levels, millions of quarters were being struck every month. But as any collector knows, high volume doesn't mean perfection. In fact, it opens the door for more mint errors, rare die varieties, and transitional mistakes that slip past inspection and end up in circulation, waiting for a sharp-eyed collector to discover their hidden value. The 1980 P quarter holds a special place in this chaotic and exciting chapter of numismatic history. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the bold P mint mark for the very first time in U.S. quarter history, this coin represents a major milestone. Before 1980, Philadelphia coins didn't carry a mint mark at all, so this coin became a symbol of change and modern minting. But within that historic shift, certain rare and incredible errors were born, and that's where the real value begins. One of the most sought-after versions of the 1980 P quarter is the double die obverse, a highly collectible variety where the front design of the coin shows clear doubling in the inscriptions like Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1980 itself. Under magnification, this doubling creates a dramatic layered look that makes the coin stand out instantly, and collectors go absolutely wild for them. The stronger the doubling and the better the condition, the higher the value climbs, but that's not the only prize to look for. Some 1980 P quarters were struck on transitional planchets, meaning blanks that were either left over from previous years or intended for different denominations. Imagine finding a quarter from 1980 that was accidentally struck on a dime planchet or one meant for a foreign coin. These mistakes are ultra-rare, and when authenticated, they fetch staggering prices at auction because of their one-of-a-kind status. Another rare and exciting error tied to the 1980 P quarter is the off-center strike, where the coin was not properly aligned with the dies during the striking process. This results in a partial design, with part of the coin's face appearing blank and the rest appearing off to one side. These coins are highly collectible, especially if the date and mint mark are still visible, and the more dramatic the misalignment, the more collectors are willing to pay for it. Then there are the clipped planchet errors, where a piece of the coin's edge is literally missing due to an error in the planchet cutting process. These coins are easy to spot, with a clear crescent-shaped chunk missing, and when they appear on a historically significant coin like the 1980 P quarter, they become highly desirable collectibles. These clipped coins are especially valuable when found in uncirculated or mint state condition, free of heavy wear or scratches, and of course, nothing increases the value of a coin more than condition. Coins graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC carry an enormous premium, especially when paired with one of the errors we've just talked about. A shiny, sharply struck, uncirculated 1980 P quarter with no blemishes and a rare error is the kind of coin that gets dealers and collectors into bidding wars, and we've seen it happen time and time again, in fact. Several stunning examples of the 1980 P quarter have already turned heads at major auctions. One such coin, featuring an extremely rare double die obverse and flawless mint state preservation, was showcased at a national coin convention and drew immediate attention from collectors all over the country. The buzz around this coin was incredible, and when the final gavel dropped, the sale price was enough to make headlines. The world of coin collecting is more alive than ever, and coins like the 1980 P quarter are at the heart of that excitement. With error coins becoming increasingly valuable and rare examples getting scooped up by serious collectors, now is the perfect time to start searching your change jars, old coin rolls, and inherited collections. The next valuable quarter could be hiding in plain sight, and all it takes is a careful eye and a little bit of coin knowledge to uncover it. So, what should you do if you find a 1980 P quarter that looks unusual? First, inspect it under magnification. Check for doubling in the letters and numbers. Look at the coin's edges for signs of clipping, and make sure it's properly centered. Weighing the coin can also help identify planchet errors. If it's heavier or lighter than the standard 5.67 grams, you might be looking at a true minting anomaly. And if it looks like a match, get it certified, because graded and slabbed coins always command the highest market value. And now for the big moment. Just how much can one of these rare and extraordinary 1980 P quarters actually be worth? Well, one incredible example of this coin, featuring a rare mint error and preserved in stunning, mint state condition, was recently valued and sold for an unbelievable $70,000. Yes, $70,000 for a single Washington quarter from 1980 with the right features and condition. This is the kind of story that keeps the coin collecting world spinning, ordinary coins turning into extraordinary treasures thanks to historical significance, minting mistakes, and the passion of collectors like you who know where to look. Last unique coin. We're unlocking the fascinating story of a coin that's quietly gaining serious attention in the world of collectors, the 1990 P Washington $quarter coin. This is a coin that millions of people handled without a second thought. But for those who know what to look for, it could be a hidden jackpot sitting in plain sight. The 1990 P quarter might seem like just another common coin at first glance. But beneath the surface lies a world of rarity, minting anomalies, and collector demand that's driving up its value across the country. Minted at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the small but historic P mark just above the date, this coin represents more than just currency. It's part of a growing wave of modern-era collectibles that are taking the coin world by storm. What makes the 1990 P quarter so exciting is the possibility of rare errors and variations that occurred during its production, and these are the very things collectors dream of finding. Despite modern technology, even the US Mint isn't immune to mistakes, and in 1990, several quarters were struck with rare flaws that transformed them into highly sought-after gems. These aren't the kind of coins you'll find every day, but when you do, they're absolutely worth hanging on to. One of the most valuable errors associated with the 1990 P quarter is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank, known as a planchet, is not perfectly aligned within the coin press, resulting in a coin with a portion of the design missing or pushed to one side. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially if the date and mint mark are still clearly visible. These dramatic-looking coins are extremely popular among collectors because no two are exactly alike. Another incredible error to look for is the double die obverse, where part of the front design appears doubled, especially on the inscriptions like Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date 1990. This type of error happens during the hubbing process when the die imprints the coin's design more than once, but slightly misaligned. Under magnification, the doubling becomes obvious, and coins with strong doubling can fetch premium prices in the collector market. Then there's the exciting possibility of a struck on wrong planchet error, where a 1990 quarter was mistakenly struck on a planchet meant for another denomination, like a nickel or even a foreign coin. These errors are rare, fascinating, and incredibly valuable because they represent a complete departure from the standard minting process. Coins with this kind of error often weigh differently and may even have a different color or size, making them instantly stand out to those who know what to look for. Let's not forget the clipped planchet errors, where part of the coin's edge is missing due to a mishap during the blanking process. These are easy to spot with the naked eye and are considered desirable collector pieces, especially when they occur on coins from significant years like 1990. Paired with a strong strike and uncirculated condition, clipped planchet quarters can draw strong interest and high bids at auctions and collector shows. The condition of your 1990 P quarter plays a massive role in determining its value. Coins that have never entered circulation, referred to as mint state or uncirculated, are the gold standard for collectors and investors alike. If your quarter still has its original shine, sharp details, and no scratches or handling marks, it could be worth far more than you think. Getting your coin graded by a top-tier service like PCGS or NGC adds credibility and can multiply its market appeal overnight. Over the past few years, rare error coins from the 1990s have seen a huge surge in collector interest. As more people begin exploring the treasures in their change jars and inherited collections, the demand for verified, rare quarters has skyrocketed. Coin conventions and online auctions have reported multiple record-breaking sales for error coins from this era, and the 1990 P quarter is definitely on that radar. If you've come across a 1990 P quarter with a strange feature, whether it's misaligned, oddly colored, oddly shaped, or shows signs of doubling, don't ignore it. These are the coins that can turn a simple afternoon coin roll hunt into a discovery worth thousands. It's always a good idea to weigh your coin, inspect it under magnification, and if anything seems unusual, seek a professional opinion. Sometimes, even small imperfections can mean big money. Coin collecting is one of the most thrilling hobbies out there, and what makes it so special is that anyone, literally anyone, can stumble upon a hidden gem in their own pocket change. The 1990 P Washington quarter is proof that modern coins are just as exciting and potentially profitable as older classics, especially when rare errors are involved. The hunt is real, the thrill is genuine, and the reward can be truly life-changing. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, just how much can a rare and error-filled 1990 P-quarter be worth if it's found in mint state condition and paired with a high-value error? Well, one such coin recently made headlines when it sold at a major auction for an incredible total of $50,000. Yes, $50,000 for a quarter from 1990 that might look completely normal to most people, but is actually a hidden treasure due to its rarity and minting mistake. This is why collectors never overlook a coin, never rush through change, and never stop searching, because the next big find could be waiting in your hand right now. If you found a strange 1990 P-quarter or think you might have a rare error coin, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your story and help you uncover its potential. Make sure to like the video, subscribe for more incredible coin discoveries, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a chance to turn loose change into life-changing value. Thanks for watching and happy treasure hunting!